Welcome to the next episode of the Crabcast. I think this is the third one. Yes, it is. My name is Longboy, and today, as well as being joined by our spell Lungaria, you've
You
made a lot of
pronounced it right
comments
this
about
time.
how I kept
Congrats.
mispronouncing the name, but yes, if I did it wrong, I will have probably failed in life. So, without further ado, um, our guest today is the one and only Koi. How you doing, man?
Hello, hello. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, this is
We're
a
all
great day
good.
of the week.
This is already a great day because we get to meet you. And I silenced everybody. Nice. Okay,
Yep.
so let me do a brief introduction. So Koi is a member in the Discord server who's currently he was a mod. First of all, he was the chief moderator of all the mods. Basically, he was let's just say the I don't know how to say it. He was basically the higher mod above them all, and he's now a current former member of the mod team. He's now currently only an OG member. He got his mod role taken away, but that didn't stop him from being still excited about the game. He's currently streaming CS:GO, if I'm correct.
I just play it full time for my university and as well as a semi-professional career.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Um, well, even if he left the mod team, he's still currently a very much cherished member of the server, and he is remembered from time to time. Uh, but this thing is kind of ironic because I never actually got to know him because I joined in like August 2019, but I didn't really care about the server that much, so I never really got to meet the mods. So this is also an interesting day for me because I will get to know Koi uh, thoroughly, if you get what I mean. Okay, so Longboy, I'm gonna leave it to you. We created a sort of a mock-up list. So let's start. I'm gonna leave it to you, Longboy.
All right, thank you very much, Spell. So, the first thing that I wanted to talk about is why Koi is such an influential member to be on our podcast. Because let me just say that he is a very cool guy. I've read a lot of his messages, and yes, I do like to stalk people on Discord sometimes. Nothing too crazy. Um, so
That's kind of weird to
it's
say.
yes, it's just like I read the messages every time to time because then it's also a good way of finding out like information that Noise says and like the talk behind it of everyone else in this Discord server. So don't take it as like I'm stalking you. It's just like I am reading the messages on my own. But anyway, so why I'm pretty sure that some people listening that are from the Discord server already know that Koi is going to be an awesome member to have here today. And I just want to start with that. Koi, what did you think? Like when you first joined the server, how did you feel about the game? And did you really want to stream 24 hours of that game on launch day? Let me hear from you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, so a little bit of history, I guess, behind like how Crab Champions and to a greater extent Crab Rays have like influenced me is I have a friend group. They go by the name of Top Servo. You'll see that name tossed around every once in a
Oh
while.
yeah, so sometimes I do read that thing sometime in the channels. Why is that such an important name?
Yes. So, Top Servo was my friend group, and they still are, and I still actively play with them all the time. And so, uh, the first day, the first hour that Crab Rave was released to the public, the music video, we had more or less turned it into our community like mantra, if you will. And so,
Mantra.
yes, it is our go-to song. It is our defining song. It. We were in love with it before it was a true meme. And so when we heard about Crab Champions, everyone instantly had to get in on it. So all of the original Top Servo members were OG Crabbers, first 1K. Everyone joined and participated, and as a result, we sort of started a Top Servo clan, if you will, as part of
right when the server began,
right when the server began.
you just decided to make a clan out of the blue like that.
Yes. Well, we had a clan existing, right? Like we were all a bunch of friends already before the game was even announced. And so we were just like, you know what? We're just gonna join the server and we're gonna basically try and represent the community as much as we can. And so we did that. There are still a lot of OG crabbers by the day that have like hashtag Top Servo or something in their name.
I think so.
And so the majority of them are from that original friend group. The rest of them joined on board as the time went on and saw a lot of activity from the Top Servo community. If you look back to the first few days of the server when thousands of people were joining, most of the conversation was actually directed and managed by Top Servo members. And so we sort of became the figurehead of the community for the initial state of the server. So I think that right there kind of explains sort of why I'm entranced with the idea of the game. And then later, my friendship with Noise Storm kind of began to expand from there, and now I'm just a supporter of him and the projects he's working on.
Oh yeah, about that, we actually just want to know, like as far as we know, you kind of cooperated with them, sort of. Is that right?
Yeah. So my background was always in FPS esports. So I have some time in Overwatch, but most of it's in Counter-Strike.
Mm.
And so most people should know what Counter-Strike is. It's just a tactical first-person shooter, regarded to be one of the higher skilled ones. And so I basically spent a lot of time trying to translate core high-end FPS elements to him. At least give him a little bit of feedback here and there regarding the way
Oh,
things played.
I see.
And so yeah, just from there, we continued to talk somewhat to this day actually about certain game elements and things that I'm seeing. I'm not as well read on the current updates and things that are going around, but I definitely did some things in the past for sure regarding gameplay.
Well,
That's so
well,
awesome because
sorry.
Koi, that's all right. Koi, you are certainly like I'm so happy that like the Top Server community decided to like take reins of the server in its early days because it sounds like you got a lot of personal connections with Noise Storm and talking about the game, and eventually you got to this state where you were like promoted to the mod team. So, what kind of like what kind like say what did you do like as a mod, and how did you get to like chief mod?
Yeah. So a little bit of backstory is that in those early days, for the first 24 hours, there was no mod team at all.
Well, I bet like in every server's history, there's gotta be a period where there's no mods.
Yes, and that was then. And so it basically came down to community policing. And what ultimately ended up happening was after the 24-hour initial period, YF and Noise Storm went through and picked out, I think it was the first top 4 or top 5 most active community members.
In 24
and
hours.
Literally just reached out to them and was like, hey, would you like to be a moderator? Now, prior to this, I had no like large server community experience whatsoever. And frankly, no one else did either. And so we all kind of went into it blind, not knowing how to really, manage members, handle crises, those kind of things. And we did our best. but I definitely tried my hardest and started to try and educate all my fellow mods, tell them how to operate. YF and Noise were obviously busy doing their own thing, and so what ended up happening was we developed sort of a little bit of a bureaucracy amongst the mods that if someone had a question, they would come to me, and if I didn't have an answer or some sort of definitive statement that would reflect on my thoughts, then it would escalate to most likely Noise Storm, sometimes YF, depending on if she was available. And so
Damn.
that's how the natural flow of commands started. And then after that, after I started, talking with Noisestorm more about the game, I worked a little bit with YF regarding. I had some conversations regarding what was it, merchandise and things like that, and other options to try and market the game. That was when I really stepped into the chief mod role per se.
So were
Okay.
you like, so dude, this is awesome. Like, it totally paid off for you to be like a definitive member in the community firsthand, and and it looks like you got a lot of experience just like not even knowing how to moderate the server. Just like you all just banded together and you started discussing some things, and it worked out really well for you. So,
It definitely wasn't all fun and games, but I think at the end of the day, it went way better than it could have.
Like, well, as you said, you basically went all in blind. So in sort of a way, you basically took a huge risk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm honestly glad it worked out better than you thought, because I wouldn't be talking to you if it didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really grateful for all the connections and friendships I made along the way. I don't think it's. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it teaches you a lot of leadership experience and things like that. But coming into it, I had already, had my fair share of leading teams or teammates and things like that. So it wasn't too new. It was just the scale of it was very different. And managing at one point, I think I was managing something like 17 to 22 mods. Now that was an
Jesus,
interesting experience.
22,
wow.
and you were all operating. You were managing all of them.
Yeah,
This
I
guy's
mean,
the
keep in
chief
mind
mod.
some people, weren't that active on the mod team and whatnot. And I'm sure
Yeah,
that's still the case nowadays.
I can reflect on that. A lot of mods in the server aren't really that active either. So
Yes, I mean, everyone, so long as they're not actively hurting the server, I don't care if they have a mod badge or not. So it doesn't matter to me if they're active or inactive, usually.
All right, so Coy, I want to expand on the moment where where you started to talk to us about having like merchandise for Crab Rave. Like,
Oh,
did that interaction between you and YF, like, is that where you like started to get like, hey, you're a trusted bud, and how did it like go from there? Because like I think that he also included you on like some. Did you ever get to talk to Noisestorm or YF by any chance? Just personal
yeah.
question.
Yeah. I've actually played some Counter-Strike games with Noisestorm. The ping isn't great
oh,
between the US and Ireland, but we made it work. 110 ping is manageable enough.
That's
what I'm
awesome, dude.
experiencing right now.
Imagine playing Counter Strike with the developer of Crab Champions and the creator of Crab Rave. That is something. That is
to be
something right there.
to be honest, that should be expected, because right now, if you look on all the things Noise did, like even accepting some games, like when the game will release in beta state, he did say he will play some games with me. So like he's really interactive. So it's not really a surprise for me anymore, just hearing stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the most important thing that people need to realize is when you have a figurehead like Noisestorm, that's heading this entire project, is that at the end of the day, he's really just a normal guy.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
like what?
That's what I thought a lot of times. Even if he's like this supreme lord of the crafts who's developing this entire game by himself, he's really just a gamer. And that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's completely unrealistic to just expect him to put 100 hours into this project every week. Like man's got to live. Burnout's a real thing in every aspect of life, and I definitely don't want to have people push him like too hard to do things too quickly.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So,
You,
actually, Longboy, can I say the last topic?
yep, you may.
Okay. So, first of all, did you hear about the recent beta,
Um,
Koi?
yes, I have. I obviously don't want to go into too much detail, but I've had some conversations with him privately regarding
Ooh,
beta access and stuff like that. Um, I I'm in the same boat as everyone else when it comes to waiting to get my key, but I'm excited to hopefully be able to test it soon.
you're already confirmed, aren't you?
I mean,
Unofficially.
Oh,
yeah, Spell and I are already confirmed. I hate it when I do that. So I'm very much assuming that Noise Stone will give you a key. But yes, when beta comes out, we all have our individual chances. It just really depends on how much you want to interact and be like give feedback on the feedback channels. Like Noise Storm actively like browses through chats and discussions, and he picks out people that who really just want to test the game. Like that's really all the requirements that there is. You don't really have to like talk a lot, but you just want it to be known that like if you want to test the game, then you can head over to the Discord server and be interested in testing, and chances are you'll probably have a better chance of getting that key.
Here's the thing I will say regarding testing and beta testing is that and I've had this conversation before with him, is that on one hand, yes, it's always good if you show a lot of initiative and wanting to play the game, but at the same time, you need to have a really close attention to detail because it's the little things that he really wants to patch out because he's doing a lot, and I mean a lot of private testing, and so just make sure that when you do get your hands on a beta key and stuff like that, you're trying to pay attention to the minute details. If something does go wrong, you're writing it down. Because with a one-man operation like he is, it's really hard for him to be able to effectively identify and manage a lot of the issues that people are going to bring up unless they have some sort of um, specifics to help with.
ooh, yeah.
Absolutely, I
Uh,
totally agree with that.
Yeah, I do think there's gonna be lots of things to fix once the beta releases. I imagine the beta discussion channel explode in like 2 hours since it releases with like tons of bugs to take care of. That's a terrifying thought to think. Like I imagine uh, it's gonna be pretty hard for it. Anyway,
Yeah, like when
I
beta
oh,
launches,
oh,
yeah, when beta launches, there's probably going to be like an influx of people like, oh my god, the game's out, we finally get to play it, and then there'll be like streams and the voice channels. But what I'm really expecting for the beta is just some people like in the text channels. There probably won't be a lot of feedback right away because like people are just wanting to get like everything's new to them. Like they haven't tested the game before, so they just want to like get familiar with the experience before finding which things start to go wrong with the experience, and that's when they'll report all the bugs. But I don't really expect for that to come for some time. So I do want to talk about like Koi. You have obviously collaborated a lot with Noise Storm just by being an active member of the community, and that's really something that I did not expect to understand today. Like, wow, this server is just so open and understanding in its community. So what I wanted to finish off on is if you want to help spread the word about the game in any way, and if you do end up getting a beta key, streaming the game and like getting everyone else hyped about it is definitely a really good path to follow. And I heard like Koi, you're doing like a 24-hour stream of the game on release.
Yep. So it's a running joke that I would stream it for 24 hours on release, and I do still stand to do that. And honestly, if he allows the beta, um, if he considers the beta to be public, or publicly visible, then I might just Joker on Indeed that
Oh,
was a 24-hour stream.
he actually talked about that. He did say streaming the game is fine while in beta.
Okay, so then that'll probably end up being my 24-hour stream.
Nice.
For the record, I'm not actually like that great of a streamer, but you know what? It's a new game. I'm really passionate about it, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I think
Exactly.
so. Hold on, I have a DM with him real quick. Hold on, I need to find this because I believe it is if I finish the game in that stream, I think I get a koi skin for a crab. So
Oh my god.
I need to look for my pinned messages real quick. All right, so hold on. I have some extra hard survival challenge runs. If you can get through them in 24 hours, I'll be disappointed. I respond, oh bet. If I get through them in 24 hours, I expect a koi themed crab skin. Noise storm. Deal.
Oh my
Yo.
god, okay.
I gotta get the grind on, guys, but I'll go for it.
Just for that sake of purpose, what games do you expect, Joe, so to complete the game in 24 hours, other games will you be expecting to will you be practicing some skills with other fast-paced shooters, practice your reaction time or something like that?
So the biggest thing that at the initial thought of the game, or when it was being redesigned in favor of multiplayer back in what was that, mid 2019, I spent a lot of time trying to draw up reference games that he could kind of base off of, and one of the big games that I tried to bring to light is actually Warframe. I think Warframe is a very, very similar game in terms of movement mechanics and just third-person shooter elements. So I would definitely consider that to be kind of a game that you can warm up on, prep yourself for. And then really just any other shooter-based game I think is going to be important. There's definitely, because it's kind of a survival-esque shooter, there's going to be natural variation all the time. So you're just going to have to, get used to the game pretty quick. But I would strongly recommend maybe trying out a game like Warframe or something to try and get an idea as to how Crab Champions is going to handle.
Got it.
You heard it from him. Go test out, obviously this is a podcast about Crab Champions, but in order to get that 24-hour challenge done, just go test out some other games so you can have an advantage at the beginning of beta period. Or if you don't get the beta, you can also do it for early access, which I'm assuming you'll probably get an even better experience now that most of the bugs are patched and you'll have a lot new features to play around with.
Also reminder, early access and the game itself will be $9.99, so you have to test it either way. It's a really low price for this kind of game. Get it anyway.
Yes, get it for your friends. It's a crab game. Anyway, so.
And it's got a banger soundtrack.
Yes, yes. Okay.
All right, so do you want to wrap this up, Spiel?
Absolutely. Pronounce my name correctly first.
Spell. Oh my
there
God.
You go. Okay, so this has been the Crabcast. Thank you so much, Koi, for joining us today, and thank you for letting us interview you. How has it been?
It was great, honestly. It was it's been a long time since I've talked about Crab Champions in any capacity, so it brings back fond memories.
I bet. Okay, so, and again, thank you everyone for listening. Even if you skipped to a certain section, that's still fine. You still clicked on this video. Thank you still. So, if you want to see more about the game, you can check out either the Discord, which is at discord.igg/crabchampions, or you can also join the wiki for more information, which is at crabchampions.fandom.com. And as always, we'll see you again in the next episode of the Crabcast. Crabs for life!